Okay, okay. Good afternoon to our Facebook fans, to all our viewers who are watching from around the world, wherever you're watching from. We just hope that all is well with you and family, as we know we are going through a serious time. The entire world being affected with what's happening today, for the past couple months. We know we are in this pandemic, but tonight I'm joined with no other than Ahmed Rana, my friend. And guys, you're gonna hear the story with me and Rana, how this started, just being in a communicator booth. But Rana is basically a lover of cricket, share a lot of passion for the game. I've seen where he's a player, he's a spectator. He's basically a man who hosts the cricket as a commentator, basically a die-hearted cricket fan, lover of the game of cricket. And with what's going on with this pandemic, we could not come on here and not really, have a whole conversation about pandemic, the pandemic and how it have affected cricket in a whole here in the USA and also right across the world. And basically our own life, how this have affected us. So before we get into it, I just want to have Rana being welcome to the platform by both me and my viewers. And Rana, we just ask that you just give a little insight into who is Ahmed Rana.
Thank you so much, Ian. It's a pleasure to be on your show. Yes, a lot of people know me, Ahmed Rana. I run the page Cricket in America on Facebook, and I have worked in the Next TV before. I have covered many tournaments from ICC to US Open to Greenland Independence Cup to 10 cricket in Houston, then Chicago Liberty Cup. So I have seen cricket mostly in like almost 24 states in America, and wherever Indian and Pakistani and West Indies people are, there's a cricket. And you can follow from New York to Florida and Florida to California, cricket is there. My passion grew up in cricket. Of course, was born in Pakistan, grew up there, and the cricket was there. But once I come to United States 1998, it was not too much cricket back then. But after 2002, 2003, people start playing cricket because more foreigners start coming, and then I become a player of cricket. Then in 2012, I had a car accident, and since then I haven't played any big cricket. So I wanted to support cricket. I'm a diehard fan, and we grow up with it. So what I decided, I'm gonna start the commentary and the hosting, start attending the cricket tournaments, and that's where I met you at US Open. And we get along, and after that we become friends. Now I'm here live with you, and again, thank you for inviting me on your show.
Yes, welcome, Rana. And I could not be more pleased to have you on the show. Because as if viewers would not have known, most of them would have known now that I was not a public speaker. I was a shy guy. I would basically be afraid to even take the stage, But one thing I know and that I share with you also is just the passion and the love for cricket. I love cricket to the extent that I would basically give my entire self to cricket. The only issue me and my wife would have on a weekly basis would be Sundays or weekend going out to play cricket, because it intertwined with our spiritual side, to be in the temple and so forth. So she would always have a problem with me going out. I tried to strike a bargain, like I would go this week and I'll be not be there next week. But trust me, every week I'm on the cricket field once cricket is playing. So the passion was definitely there. But in terms of coming forward and broadcasting or even be presenting here tonight, that was not there. It was not until I met you, Rana, at the Mac US Open there in Broward at the stadium. And I remember, and I was shying away from the platform, when all the commentators, because we had a lot of commentators. So I was just shying away from the platform. And I remember vividly, you came over, you grabbed me, and you said, "Hey, man, let's go in. It's time to go in." And you said, you said, "Ian,
Yes.
you got to do this. You can't, like, I can't be just that reserved." And ever since then, and I've gotten my practice there. Call it that was a practice session. But sitting in and sharing the booth with you, the commentary box with you, I learned a lot from you. your experience that you brought there was able to help a young man like me, you know. And I don't know if you want to elaborate on that, how you saw me on that particular day.
So yes, of course, Muhammad Afzal Qureshi Mag is a very big name in cricket, and the U.S. Open is the biggest tournament in United States. And you can compare it can compare to IPL and PSL and BPL and of course CPL. But what I like about you that you had a same passion like me, but you need a little bit push. Like you needed a friend there with you just to say and show you, hey Ian, you can do this. And once we sit down, once we started, and after that, I cannot even tell. And you are better than me right now, and you are doing shows every day. And I'm learning from you. I love your shows, especially the one next to the water that you did. You created the creativity, and you are your own director. You are own your camera guy. You're doing everything on your own. And since now pandemic, we all staying home, which gives you more time to become your own. And back to your wife, every wife give you hard time. My wife give me hard time too. But a good thing is that what we doing, we're not chasing the woman. We're not, going gambling. We're not drinking. All we're doing is playing cricket, watching cricket, hosting cricket, commentary. We just enjoying life, and that's what we're gonna give our son. Because it's a big responsibility when you have a family, and it's very hard to take the time out. Because as me, I do income tax. I'm a body protection, and of course, you are a nurse, and my wife is a doctor. So we know what the healthcare our worker are going through right now, and especially you take your time out from your family, because that 30 minutes you couldn't give to your kid, doing the story with him or her, and then playing with her and him. But still, you take your time out, because I know you do like 2 hours almost every day or every other day to support cricket. You're not in the field right now, but you are in the computer, and through Facebook Live, the stream live, we are showing the world how much we are missing the cricket.
Definitely, Rana. The cricket, I can tell the guys they're missing the cricket. But as I would say, this pandemic has really taken a toll on the cricket itself. I've seen, we have opened up where we start playing a few games, and I've seen the shape of the guys after coming out after 3 months. You cannot believe it was the same guy that you have seen 3 months ago. They were in shape, they were looking good, fit, ready. But now they're coming out there, I guess it's like your muscle. If you're not using it, then it seems like you lose it. And I really kind of feel it for the cricketers, because coming from a nurse's standpoint, we know the restriction that we have now on every individual. We're telling you, get up, wear a mask, you're out there, wear a mask. We're not even used to this. We're telling us to social distance, to stay away from your friends, and most of all, you stay away from the game that we all love. That is probably the hardest thing that you're asking us to do, to stay away. But we know what is going on, and the CDC would have offered all those guidelines that we have to basically live by. But in the life of a cricketer, how do you see this, this pandemic, and how it affects us?
Very, very good questions. Of course, it's not only affecting cricket; it's affecting all over the world. And all the businesses, especially the healthcare worker. I have to salute you guys, especially like you taking in this pandemic and being an essential workers. A lot of workers going to work. For cricketer, what happened? In 3 months, there's no exercise. Everybody become lazy. They staying home. Some family got coronavirus. Some family member died, and some family members suffering from the financial loss. And any hobby or anything you do in life, especially cricket, you need money, you need time, and then you need to focus, and then you need to be physically fit. Because if you want to play 20 over, it's easy. But if you want to play 40 overs game, your body needs to be very fit. And by sitting home, and of course our food is very delicious. Our women make the good food, the best food in the world. And I've been around the Caribbean, and I ate the jerk chicken, chicken curry, or curry chicken, because Trinidad gonna say chicken curry, and Guyanese gonna say curry chicken. So of course we love the food, and we staying home. But the best thing what cricketer did, and mostly cricket around the world, I haven't even heard one cricketer got coronavirus. So I think they did well by sitting home to winning this war. Now, in the pandemic, but what we need to do, what I've been doing it, we can read books, we can learn a new trade, we can learn a new hobby. And then, and we can, read and watch cricket, especially, since it's virtual. We can go back to the histories like 92 World Cup, 83 World Cup, and then, the era of the 2000, then AB de Villiers, Virat Kohli, now Babar Azam, Shahid Afridi, Vivian Richard, Sunil Gavaskar, Sachin Tendulkar. There's so many batsmen over there if you would like to bat, and then it's so many bowler, Cuddly Ambrose, Wash, and Wasim Akram, Wakar Yunus, and Zahir Khan, and now this booming Bumrah, So in pandemic, as a cricketer, we must eat healthy and we must do exercise. We must read some books. We must learn new trade, and we must focus on ourselves, because this corona is not only hurting your body, also is hurting mentally. So you're not only physically. A lot of people going in depression, especially when they're losing the family member, when they financially they're losing the house, they're losing the car, because in America, people used to making money and then pay the rent every month, pay the car payment. A lot of people live day by day, and a lot of time my friends and a lot of time people ask me that why it's affecting the other people, why is not affecting your community. I tell them it's affecting every community. We all are the same. We all are human. Doesn't matter black, white, Chinese, any nationality or any color. But why is not affecting us or the foreigner people? Because see, we believe in savings, and we are the most people who save money, especially Indian, Pakistani, Caribbean. So 25% of the income, we save, and 75% we spend. But American way, whatever you make, you always in deficit. You make $100, your expenses like 120. And a lot of people have a bad habit eating out, going out for party, and the unnecessary things they buy. And now when this corona happened, the whole global economy shut down, and the whole global crisis came. So it's affecting all of us. But being human, we need to focus. We need to spend more time with our families, and we need to focus on our kids. We need to focus on our health, and especially mental health.
Definitely, because also work in the mental health capacity, Rana, and it is sad. This pandemic had really caused a lot of pain, and it is surprising, but to hear somebody say even the nurses are now going through depression. Just the fact that they are working around all these sick patients. You're seeing patient dying right in your hands. You're seeing patient dying and they can't even reach to their loved ones or anything. They can't even get to say goodbye. Based on the whole social distance, the hospital won't even let you inside to see your loved one. And it brings a strain on nurses to just absorb all of that. To see that you're working, and you're working against a disease that is definitely something that you realize it is hard to contain. It is just getting worse and worse by the day. I right down here in Florida, I tell you, it is getting crazy by the minute. And to hear the CDC would have said probably the number if even higher or greater than what we are saying it is. But in saying that, you realize that how it have affected all these people. But I want to ask you specifically with cricketers. We know not every cricketer is like me and you who have a second job or something to turn to during this pandemic. But their sole thing is that they would have put in the work, and their work is in their training. They train as hard as they possibly can to be the best they can in terms of their craft, their skill, and that is playing cricket. Now you're telling most of them that they're shut down, and a lot of them being shut down. So a lot of, because you realize not just cricket, but a lot of games, basketball, baseball, a lot of these things have basically slowed drastically. A lot of money being lost in the industries and everything. But for that young man who now only craft he has to depend on, and he didn't used to do the saving. I know you're good with taxes and all that stuff, so it's good to have you on here because you could shed some light at the end of this to tell them exactly how they save to manage if something like this should ever happen again. But say somebody is in that spot, that point of bother, where guess what? Cricket is the only thing they have. and they can't play it?
Very good question. Another very good question. Back to your pandemic. Let me share a small story. You remember when New York, was getting hit by coronavirus, and
Yes,
everybody was saying New York because New York is the hub of the foreigner, and everybody depend on the income. Everybody was going to work. And we didn't realize until like end of March, in Maryland, the corona is there. But I still remember I went to work until March 15 to 20th, and then I start realizing, but New York got hit because everybody's mostly immigrant over there. Everybody's foreigner. When you depend on the income, certain income, you like to go to work. Plus, there's no social distance because I'm from New York. I grew up in New York. One building has 1,000 tenants. If 5 or 10 tenants got it, I'm scared from you. You are scared from me. And as a healthcare worker, the workers' healthcare and healthcare's capacity is not there. That's why a lot of hospital was on code red. And what we didn't learn from China. We didn't learn from Wuhan. We kept going because we think we are superpower. We are American. We are number one. Yes, of course we are number one. But again, we are human. Now back to your cricket. What cricket needs to do? I think boards needs to come in. It can be Indian board, BCCI, PCB, WICB, Australian cricket, ECB, Bangladesh, West Indies. They need to come together and think about these young men and young women because a lot of women are playing cricket too nowadays, and women are equal
yes,
now. And we always leave them behind, but they are the one always needs to be up front. That's why they say ladies first. So, I talked to a couple of women in Pakistan cricket. I talked to a couple of women in Indian cricket. I talked to a couple of women in, West Indies and Nepal. Their family is supporting. But back to you, a lot of people family is not rich. A lot of people family is doesn't have saving. These young men needs to get paid through the boards, through the local committees, and through the government because that's not their fault if they cannot earn the money for their family. And like everybody getting unemployment in United States, I think there should be a program or grant for his players, especially for cricket. It can be for basketball or anything, because the coaches are staying home. The players are staying home, and I know so many young players come from West Indies to play the summer season over here, to play the league over here. First they start in New York from June, July, and August, then Chicago, and then they move to the Houston and Florida. By the time the weather get cold here, and they have their window until 6 months that I don't know, sometimes the fees is so low, like 200, $300 per match, and it can go up to 500 to $1,000. Because I remember when Andre Russell came, Somerset Cavalier brought him, he charged almost $12,000 just to play 4 match. Badri is there, and these people make money, but the people who are earning only $200 per game, $300 per game, or 150, and part time they were working, and these people need help. I think we should create something, maybe GoFundMe, maybe Facebook, to help them. And then what we can do, see, like England and West Indies, they're playing the series now. I think most boards should come together and do the series without the spectators. I know it's not gonna be that easy, but Corona is there for at least 1 or 2 years until the vaccine don't come. We gotta get used to of that, the social distancing. But somehow we need to support these players. The boards need to forget about who's rich board, who's poor board, who's big, who's small. Come together. We all human, and we all bleed, red, and we all eat the same way. We all die the same way. And our families, especially their cricketer families, deserve to be well and good.
all right. There's a lot of meat there, Rana, which is very good. You can see that you're thinking, and you're thinking deep, because really and truly, these cricketers have been affected, and not just cricketers. Even though we're talking about cricket, because that's a common sports between us, but it's happening right across the board that people really had put their all into their sports, their craft, and that's all they do. So it's been affecting us, globally. This is a pandemic that it's not, something like an earthquake. It will shook, and it may just affect New York, or it may just affect California, South Florida. But this pandemic, it affects the entire world. it's nobody's been spared from it. Whether it touch you in some way. Even say, for example, you told me you're from Pakistan. Right now, if your family member want to travel into the US, it's a problem. If you
Yeah,
want to go home, it's a problem. So whether we like it or not, this thing have come right into our very home. And
I tell you
another
this,
thing,
Ian. Sorry to cut you. I tell you this. You're
go.
right. I have friends all over the world. And each of everyone and each of families have suffered mentally, especially they stay home 3 months, like the elder and the senior citizen. They used to go walk, they used to do like 2 or 3 times in a week breakfast together, and then as you and me, of course, we've been working, but I've been home 3 months, and I know so many people ask me to come live, and I know so many people I want to be live with, but I said no. Because why? As mentally and physically I was not ready. Because it's the whole world, and I think we need to pray to God or Allah or whatever we call in different languages. There's only one God, and
There
we
you
need
go.
to respect our religion. I think God is telling us that right now you all human, so act like a human and live like a human. Don't be rich and poor. Be humble and be kind.
That's another thing that stand out about you, Rana. And for me, whenever I come into contact with somebody, there's always an energy, and I can feel a positive energy, or if it's a negative energy. If it was a negative energy, we would not be here. But I realize that you have a love for humanity. You have a love for community. You have a love for people on a whole, because you didn't know me from nowhere. At that game, that's the first time you would have seen me. But you
Yes.
you could call me and say, as a brother, you look at me,
Yeah.
you see that, guess what? This guy may have little thing in him. You don't know me anything, but guess what? I don't know if you were able to sense that, guess what? This guy look like he's shy, you don't want to go on camera, but yet still he's here to commentate. How can you commentate if you're not willing to go before the camera? And that's where I was at the point when you met me, man. And and,
You,
and
you
I,
know,
I,
you
I
know, Ian, I never told you that, but I'm gonna tell you now what I like about you. You are simple. You are humble. You don't have a chip on your shoulder, right? You dress properly. You were very appropriate, very humble and kind. But I think you forgot there's a competition in life, and people don't want you to win. Everybody wants you to lose. People only bet on the horse, that horse gonna win. But you are my horse, and I knew that day that you needed to sit in that comedy box. Today or tomorrow I might be not here, but I'm creating one of my brother just to go and focus on his life. And today I'm so proud. I watch every single video of yours, and I share every single video too. And of course, when you make mistake, I always tell you. And when I make mistake, you can tell me too, because we are brothers. We are human. But
definitely.
I sensed it. You needed the push, and I push you. You are a very kind and humble man, and you are a very nice man. And one thing, you have more knowledge about cricket than me, because I see you are umpiring too the other day on the Facebook pictures.
You know what I hear when I told the guys in that game, man. I told them, please don't put pressure on me. That's why I say, you see, I put it out in the group. Do you guys think I could make a good umpire? 'Cause I know even
You
that
can do
would make
anything
it.
you want. See, you are saving life. You are a nurse. I cannot be nurse. I cannot see blood. When I go for injection or a blood test, I have to look the other way. But you guys looking right at it, and especially healthcare worker, the doctors. Sometimes my wife tell me what happened. The person died, and then she have to sign the death certificate. And the worst thing is that she has to go talk to the family, and the family members has so many questions. Of course, we all are born and we all die, but that's the hardest part what you guys go through. I cannot even imagine sitting with the family and telling them, hey, your father died. You're not gonna see your father. And your mother died. You're not gonna see your mother. Did you kiss your mother hand before? Did you kiss your mother forehead? Or your wife died? Did you tell her before she died that you love her? Your children got corona. Everybody is scared from everybody, but proud to be know you, and especially that you are a nurse and cricket lover and all the healthcare workers. I want to salute them today, and I want to thank them from my heart, because I know, 'cause my wife is a doctor, so I know what healthcare workers go through. If I wouldn't have any doctor around me or nurse around me, I wouldn't know. And then, especially the people on the cemetery, because they are handling all the dead bodies. We must remember them too, because they are the one keep working in this pandemic too.
Yeah, it's a big challenge, Rana, and I'm glad you talk about, especially that part of it where your wife would have to handle going to tell, because we can't say anything before the doctor say, hey, they're dead. We can't do anything there. But just to present that news to a family, I can tell you the way it affect them, it's hard to take it. And now I'm really seeing an after effect. And not that I'm straying away from cricket, but lately I've had the opportunity to work in like a psych rehab center. And now I see the effect of post-traumatic stress disorder. I've seen patient, I did one patient the other day, and I was basically in an assessment, and I'm asking her in a depression on a scale of 0 to 10, where are you? The day before she was like a 2. Then the very next day I went back to work, and same question, in the same line of question. I'm like, how depressed are you today? Scale of 0 to 10. The patient would say 10. I'm like, wow, yesterday you were 2, but today you're 10. I said, what happened? And she reminded me 10 years ago, her brother would have passed on this particular day, and that have lived with her forever. I'm like, guess what? I did not see this other side because I used to work in trauma. So I see when they come in, the rush and everything. But the after effect, because everybody will remember the trauma on that day. But these people, nobody really stick with them through this time, and they carry on way over into 10 years later. It opened my eyes again to something else. Because, we just see people that they probably smoke and drink and so forth, and you just look at them as a drug addict or whatever. But this mental health, as you speak about earlier, it is serious. And it is the same thing now, even though we're in a pandemic. This is happening to people. The anxiety level is through the roof. You know, People, they're depressed because, as we say, we can't do the things we used to do. Even our cricket, as you mentioned, the England series. You used to go to a cricket match and you have the entire stadium cheering you on. The energy is there. And now
All
you're
the
playing
stadium
in,
full.
yes, and now you're playing in an empty stadium. If you used to draw from that energy, no, just to pick yourself up to make 50 runs, it's hard. It's more challenging because it's like you don't have that support to feed from or the energy. Because I tell you, as a cricketer, I draw energy from my supporters, from my friends. Sometimes I just say, okay, Rana is here to see me today. I gotta perform. At least you're looking in the stand and you're looking at the person and say, hey, you're watching me. Yeah, and you gotta bowl your best delivery. You gotta get this batsman. And I think these same cricketers, they're going out there, but now with say the crowd missing. How do you feel that affect our players where there's no
Yes,
crowd?
I was watching the series England West Indies, and the first test West Indies did so well. They were so prepared, especially the Shannon Gabriel was moving the ball, and the batting was fantastic. But of course something was missing, and I couldn't figure out until I noticed there's no spectators because we couldn't take a chance in pandemic. So the passion of the players were not there. If you can see, in the I'm talking about the first test match, and the West Indies
Yeah.
won. But there's no celebration, there's no spectator noise, there's no Jamaican flag, there's no Trinidadian flag, there's no drums, there's no dancing. Something is missing. And now come to second test, I think we should get used to it, right? But then England did so well, and we don't see no England flags, and the people usually come in the ground, enjoying, drinking, wearing different kind of suits, different colors. They're dressing up, so many different, right? They're not there. Even though Ben Stroke made the 176 runs, and England won the match. Even though Stuart Broad played in the second match, the first match he was, mad because he couldn't get selected. But this thing gonna stay, Ian. We gotta get used to it, and this thing is missing. And you know why England couldn't win the first match? Because if you notice, when you are playing in your home ground, you have spectators. When the ballers start running, they start clapping, they start cheering up. Baller energy boost up, and then instead of like 80 mile, the baller try for 90 mile. Boom. Same thing with the batsman. When you playing in your home ground, you make that 50, you make that 100, because you know you grew up in this ground playing. You spend almost 10 hours a day, and nobody's there to see except TV. This is like this, if you have a relationship, you are looking at your mom and you are looking at your father or looking at your wife, but you cannot hug them, you cannot feel your passion, you cannot feel they are there for you. Same thing with cricket lovers like us. We are watching the game, but we not into it. As like spectators, we were gonna be there, we're gonna take a picture, get an autograph and then cheer it out, and then we can tell them their mistakes from outside, like we know everything. But this is gonna happen, Ian, and we have to live with it. But right now, as positive sides, like you said, I always look the positive side. I think ECB and WICB made a great decision and to play this cricket behind the doors, and hopefully nobody get coronavirus. Jofra Archer, one of my favorite player, made a mistake, went home, draw from the second test because of the protocol. Hopefully, he come back to the third test and he doesn't do it again. And a lot of young people needs to learn when you're playing a major cricket league or when you're playing especially international cricket. These things matter because he couldn't get the COVID-19 and couldn't give the whole team or the whole people in the ground. And but positive sides, cricket is happening, and the third test is about to come on the July 24. A lot of people ask me why you always watch every country matches. I said, look, I support cricket. I don't support any country. Of course, as a Pakistani, I support Pakistan because I born there, right? You support your own mother. But of course, you have to cheer it up for good cricket, and there are players, Broadwood did good, and that guy Chase, man, where he come from, the spinner. He take 5 wickets, back to back. Put a pressure on England.
Definitely. I think each of these players, they go into the series, they go in there hungry. Everybody, we had a break and everything, but everybody come out and they want to play cricket. And going into
I
this,
think they're getting married or they're attending the wedding, but there's no guest. Like you go to the wedding, they're doing the court marriage. They're still getting married by playing cricket, but there is no wedding guest there. So cheer them up to dance and everything. But good thing is that the cricket is back and they play cricket.
yes, that is good. And especially for some of the fans now that is home in their couch, because now they can get back to live cricket. Because I know, as you said earlier, is that it's important that we start reading some books, we start watching some old test match with some of these greats. And that was missing, I think, from these youngsters. Most of these youngsters coming through, they don't know the root and the foundation of that cricket been laid upon. The discipline that these guys used to play. They didn't used to play for all this money. These guys used to play for the love of the game. Now we realize that there's so much money in the game of cricket. You could play one series and walk away a wealthy man, from just playing one game. But
They were playing for pride. They were dedicated. They were playing for their country. They were playing for their family. They were playing for their friends. They were playing for the whole world to show the performance. Now the player play for themselves. The player play for the money. The player play for the bling bling. The players want to show off, which is wrong. The people who were before us, they were the smart people. Yes, of course, we invent the computers. We have the internet, we have the Facebook Live. But I think still, when you go to the old ways, you go to your home, to your parents, you sit together, you eat like a family, you enjoy more instead of the social media. Like nowadays, I see people flashing they buy the new car, people flashing they got the new apartment, people flashing I'm here, which is okay sometime to do it. I do it too, but don't show off too much because there is God. If God can give you, God can take it back. This is what pandemic about. We forgot there is God. We forgot that we have relatives. We forgot that we have friends. We forgot the old ways. I think there's a sign, Ian, that somewhere in the universe, somebody is trying to show us, go back to your roots, go back to the family, go back to the love, go back to the culture that you belong. It's not my car, my house, or my way. It's ours. And I know you and me grew up in the same era. We used to spend time with families. We used to go out to play. soccer, cricket. Nowadays, kids play Roblox, kids play the video games. They don't know how to communicate with each other. They don't know how to communicate with adults. A lot of kids I know, 18, 19, because I do a lot of volunteer work with kids. They cannot even go home without GPS. They have to use a GPS to go home or one place to another place. It's a shame, and then it's a funny at the same time. But as a cricket lover, I think as all the cricket in the world, I want to give that message. Stay focused, spend quality time with the family, and do what you like. Go outside just with your brother or your cousin, whoever close, they haven't go out or they haven't exposed. Play with them. And I think the cricket tournaments should be postponed a little bit. Maybe small leagues they can do it because I think Corona is going up right now. Florida was behind New York. Florida governor didn't listen. He opened the beach, and he didn't take the precaution. And now every day you guys have coronavirus. Houston and Texas is the next. As Maryland, our governor, we have control, but also we have less population too. And the states who have less population, I think they were like more countryside, more suburbs, and they stay home. But I think the big cities, especially in summer, you cannot stop people to go to the beach because they're so used to it. But Corona is there, my friend Ian, and it's gonna be there until the vaccine comes.
Yeah, definitely, Rana. What I'm seeing here in Florida, it is just serious. It's like you going out there before. It's like once you go out there, it's like 1 in 100. Now what is happening to me, man? I feel like every 10 person I see out there, one out of that 10 may just have it, and especially with us as kids, we gotta be very mindful of what we do. So we really gotta take the CDC warnings and their guidelines very serious, in terms of the basic stuff. If you see here, my house can't be out of mask. It's like I know, guess what? This becomes a protocol. If I'm walking outside, I gotta got a mask on. Because guess what? I have my kids and my family back here. And that's why I would understand with the board, with what's his name going back home. You could affect the whole team, everybody. You get what I'm saying?
Jafar Archer, talking about.
Yeah. So that's just the same thing. It's like me going out there and just going out there. I could come and affect my entire household. So we really gotta be very careful and mindful of the way we go there. Yes, we missed the game, we missed the cricket, but guess what? In this time, just enjoy time at home with the family, because I really am enjoying my time with my kids. I get to spend more time. No, I get to spend more time with my wife, because I don't have all that every week. Like, I'll be playing a whole day cricket from the moment I get up. I'm heading off to wherever the field is, back till night before I get back in. Now I could sit down and have good dinner with them and everything. We're on here, we see our friends coming on, Lenny Archibar and Fissal. It is good to see these gentlemen coming on here to share, in the commentary box with them.
Yeah, Lenny and Shah Faisal, they are better than us, and I think Lenny and Shah Faisal is the number one, the couple on the cricket. Not like a man couple, but as a commentator, like partners, and they do so good, especially Lenny being, the accent from the, Caribbean, and Shah Faisal, he went to England to learn the commentary, and they have more knowledge, man. Me, I personally think I'm not a good commentator. I think I'm a good host, but Lenny and Shah Faisal helped me to, get in the game and just become a commentator. And I think you are better than me now.
No,
and,
no. You are my greatest, because trust me, you're the one who really pulled me in the box. I was so with Archibald and Fissal in the box. That's why I was so nervous. These guys are good at what they do, man. Just standing outside, listening to them on that inside of the box commentating. It's like, man, I forget that I need to enter the box.
I think the Vinod Mamchand, Vinod, let me tell you about this guy, Vinod Mamchand. He is the guru, man, and he knows how to host, and he's a good writer, journalist, and he did so much, his experience. I think he give you the confidence too. And of course, Lenny and Shah there, but Vinod Mamchand, we shouldn't forget him. And he's the main man who brought me to US Open. and who told me, hey, you can do this, and I told him, I said, look, I want to go do the hosting and interviews. He said, no, just come in the box. So same thing when he pushed me, and when I see you, so I have to give the hand to you, and maybe you can give hand to somebody else. There's no competition because we're doing for free. We're doing with our own expense, and we just supporting there, And thanks to CCUSA to give us the platform and to take care of us. Their hospitality is good, especially Mac and Sufyan and everybody. But and then we come from different states. You are in Florida. You are lucky next to the next to the stadium in Fort Lauderdale. But I came from Maryland. Lenny come from New York, and Shah Faisal he come from Georgia. You know, and everybody come together from different city and 24 teams, man, 24 teams, players. It's so much like energy out there, and we have 5 games going on in a one time. We don't know which game to watch, and especially if you're doing commentary, you must watch the game, the one you're gonna do the commentary, right?
Yep. While I'm here, I'm gonna see if I could even get Lenny in. I don't know if I have Lenny in my No, I don't have Lenny Archibald, it seem like, but definitely I could bring on Lenny. I'd have to bring on
Yeah,
Elito.
let's do one more program next week with Lenny and Shah Faisal and me and
Yeah,
you.
we definitely have to bring them on. But I'm gonna tell you, Rana, I am very grateful of Mark Creation team, his team, Cricket Council USA have really been the platform to really get me out there. I love cricket so much, and when I looked around, there in my group, everybody just want to play the game of cricket. I personally, I wanted to help to develop cricket because I see where cricket was going here in the USA. I did not see the growth that I would wish to see over the 15 years that I've been here. But those 15 years, I've really been playing the game. But now it comes to the point where I want to walk away from the game, but knowing that, guess what? The youths are coming into the game. So I never stop seeking out, man, until I get to sit down with Mark and say, Mark, how can I help you in terms? Because I realize single-handed, this side, you are taking on everything. You're taking on the burden of it. It's just like you. You said you finance yourself to whichever game you go. You're coming out of your pocket, and this is what a lot of viewers may not know. To do these things, we're coming out of our pocket to really go out there and be a part of it. You know, and I'm telling you, I could not be more proud, and I appreciate that he allowed me to come on board with Cricket Council USA. And by coming on board with Cricket Council USA, I think that's where every transition started to happen. At least he said, Ian, whatever you could do, okay, come with Vinod. Vinod will help you in the commentary box. I come in as a basically a standby a standby commentator. You know, and really I've learned a lot from you guys. Just the professionalism about these guys from Vinod, Shaw, Archibald, and then you came along there. I was just like, man, this is something fun. It's just fun to be. And the moment I start talking, all right, okay, then I come back home and I listen to myself, and I'm like, okay, you did not do too bad, Ian.
See,
And
you are a good man. You listen to yourself. I come back home. I don't want to listen to anything because I don't know what I said and I don't remember. Before you let me go, I give you the small story, right? So me and Lenny and Shah Faisal was commentating, and that girl Roshni there too, and Vinod, right? Everybody, right? And it's a story. And Lenny and me were doing it. The Suraj Bali, the guy Suraj Bali who lives in Fort Lauderdale, right?
yeah, yeah, I'm Timmy.
Yeah, Timmy Suraj Bali, yeah. So he made the century, right? So Suraj Bali made the century. We keep saying Suraj Bali did the cut shot, the pole, the six, the four, right? And after that, we had a break, right? So I went downstairs with Shah Faisal, right? And Lenny was there too. So the Suraj Bali guy come and Timmy, right? So he started talking to me. I talked to him. I talked to his wife. I talked to his children, and we were talking for like 5 6 minutes, right? And after he left, I asked Shah Faisal. I said, Shah Faisal, do you know who this guy is? He said, that's the same guy you were saying from the commentary where Suraj Bali, Suraj Bali, Suraj Bali. Because we used to seeing the people in a helmet and the number, on the shirt. So we cannot remember the face because we see 600 plus faces. So, this is one of the commentary stories, and I want to share more next time. But I know the time is short, and we went over the board on the 30 minutes to 45 minutes now.
All right. I know you're going, but one big question for you. If you were ahead part of the board, the cricketing board, just tell me one thing you would have done different with this whole
I
pandemic.
think I think they have done perfectly fine, especially Mac and and of course we're missing Vinod, but you and I've been doing great, and Sufyan is there. But I think we shouldn't wait a little bit longer. Like we shouldn't wait maybe until August instead of doing the cricket in like June or late May or something. Because see, now the second wave is coming. As a healthcare worker, and I know that if luckily nothing happened to nobody, but cricket is a sport of passion. We want to give high five, we want to cheer it up. I think we shouldn't wait a little bit more longer, but since they did it already and nothing happens, so they did a great job, I think. Yeah.
Well, I just want to say I am very honored to have you on here tonight, Ahmed Rana. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you coming on here and share. I know a few people will be touched, and we look forward to doing something else. And as I said, we'll bring on Archibald. We miss Fisal, who's out there. Vinod. All of us come on here and just have a fun time. And cricket is fun. Make it be fun even when we're in a home. So thank you very
Thank
much,
you,
man.
thank you, thank you, Et, and God bless you, and be safe, stay home, stay safe.
God bless you, man. Have a good night.
Thank you.